Hi, welcome back. I'm going to proceed in doing the feathering that we just copied here on here. So I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to slowly start cutting. I've just finished up these. I didn't sand them yet. There's a couple little things. And you know, this is very detailed work. The chickadee that I'm giving you is really not proportioned to a true chickadee, you know, for competition or anything. It's my version of the chickadee. I like them plump, and that I think they look cuter that way. But anyway, what you want to do is you want to follow this. You want to put a stop cut all the way to the end. And same thing over here. You want to take that and put a stop cut. You don't have to dig it in too far, folks, you know. And so what you want to do is you just want to follow that out completely. Make sure you have it cut exactly where you want, and then just slowly trim that out. This is how you do your top feather. The bottom will not have any feathers like this. It will just be wood burning to make it look like feathers, like a very thin layer of feathers. It doesn't have it pronounced like these do. Okay, let me do the other side here. There you are. Ever so carefully do it. Okay. Get your first layer off. You can always go a little bit deeper if you want. You don't want to go too deep. The feathers are so incredibly thin. So, and then I rounded off this here a little bit. So what you want to do is just you want to undercut that a little bit, just like so. I'm going to try to get this in the camera so you can see it. Okay. Just going to round that a little bit, like that. And then I'm going to follow that out and around. And that's the portion that's going to be taken out. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little stop cut there. Another little stop cut on this side, just a tad. We're going to cut it from underneath, like so. And just get that little point out, okay? So all you're going to do is get that little, see how that's shaping the next feather out. And you're going to just blend that in with the tail. See how I did that? And then you're going to take your next cut, which is here, and I'm this line right here, so I'm going to follow that up very carefully. I'm going to follow that up. Try to keep your line straight if you can, and right up to the top there. And then we're going to flip this over, and this will be our second feather. Okay, so that's how you do all these, very carefully. And you know, if you get that little ridge on there like I have there, you can go back and do a little cut, a little sliver off of that. And then you're going to follow this all the way out. Till it rounds. And then your other one's going to come underneath, right underneath here. So you just keep following your feathers all the way down and around. And then when you do your top feather, you're going to do on your tail, you're going to do this. You're going to take this down and around. And remember, the wood's going to be fairly thick on the other side. It only has that illusion that it's that thin. Okay, so wherever you have that, you're going to cut this first a little bit. You're going to cut this off like so. Okay? You're going to cut the other side. Just take that tip off a little bit and round it up a little bit. Okay, so it's a little bit rounded. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut this one out, like so. Okay. And then you're going to put a little nick in there, just like this. Now, technically, your bottom one should be really worked up to that it's flat. So you're going to work this out a little bit. You may have to redraw those lines in there. Okay? You're going to try to get that as flat as you can possibly get. Oops. Alright, like that. And we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to just try to even that out a little bit, like that. And then you're going to go back around, you're going to blend that in a little bit. Everything's a little bit with these, you know, it's not, you're not going to hack off a lot of wood here. You know, I'm just giving you the basics of how to do the birds. Okay, see how thin that is now? So when you go back up here and you push this in for the corner, see where it's rounded? That's how you get your little feather out. And that's the line that you, let's do the other side. Okay, that's how we get our feather out. And then you want to take a piece of sandpaper. You can go back and trim that out a little bit more if you like. And then when you do the bottom portion, you're going to go from wherever you put those little notches. Okay, let me get this here. So you're going to go from here and you're going to put one line up. Okay, and this one will go underneath. So you're going to do this line, and then when you do the next one, you figure out where your notch is. That will be your next line going up. Okay? So when you put this next notch in up here at the top, just like what we did here, I could do that for you. It's not a big deal. Let me just give you an example, like so. Okay? If that's your next feather, then you're going to go on the bottom, and that's where your next feather comes up. Okay? See how easy that is? So when you go back, you sand all that, usually from the ends here, you sand it from the end to make it into a point, just like what you see here. Okay, see how that's done? And we're doing the same thing here. We're going to trim that all out. So once you get done with all your trimming, go ahead and do this side. Alright, like we did over here. Do all your feathering on the top and notch out each corner. You know, you may want to trim a little bit more off here, but you can make those feathers so they look like they're going sideways here. But once you do this top feather and do the next one, flip it over and you'll know where the next one starts. So when you do the bottom here, all you need to do is take it. In fact, I'll do it right now. You go from where you cut it. Okay, just follow that up like so. And then you're going to trim that portion out. Just like that. Okay? So that's your feather underneath. That's how that's done. And then you go ahead and do the next one. I'll do it for you. Okay? Because this will be like this one on the top. You see the whole feather? The two end ones will be your whole feather on the opposite side. Okay? And so we're going to trim this out. Okay. Alright, and see how we have that? You can trim that out and you can make that look like it's going underneath and all that. So, hope that's been helpful to you, and then we'll catch you next time. Thank you very much.